But first, concerns about the virus are bringing about changes for Ohio high school and college sports.
As Tiffany Tarpley tells us, the governor says the games should continue, but without the fans.
Changes are happening swiftly, less than 24 hours after Ohio confirmed its first cases of new coronavirus.
The good thing is the games are going to be played. Student athletes are going to get a chance to compete, but we are, in fact, limiting attendance.
The commissioner of the Mid-American Conference says only family and friends, credentialed members of the media, and necessary staff to run the event will be allowed inside Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse for the tournament, which starts tomorrow. Both the MAC and Ohio High School Athletic Association are following these recommendations from Governor Mike DeWine for all events that draw crowds.
Every act each one of us takes now has very significant consequences.
On the other hand, in a statement to 3 News, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse and the Cavs say they utilize large industrial state-of-the-art air handling and cleaning systems and processes that far exceed what many college, high school, or smaller venues possess. So, the Monsters game will go on as planned Sunday with spectators. The idea behind the governor's recommendations is to limit the spread of coronavirus as much as possible.
Gatherings can be a way to spread the illness around, and so they're tough decisions. You make them on a case-by-case basis.
And so the next Cavs game, the at-home Cavs game, isn't until later this month, but the organization says it is following precautionary and preventative measures recommended by the CDC and other health experts. Also later this month, the NCAA Championship, which plays round 1 and round 2 of the tournament in Cleveland. It says that it will make the decision in the coming days. Sarah.
We will be watching for that. Thanks, Tiffany.